Five Nights at Freddy's is an indie horror survival game that was released in late 2014, and since has received 14 more games in its series, as well as 2 movies. These games have obtained a cult-like following, and still have a thriving fandom. From the lore to the gameplay, these games have a lot of depth to them. For this, I'm going to focus on the first game in the series, as it's what started the legacy, and has much simpler mechanics to explain. The essential gameplay loop is as follows. You are a night guard watching over an animatronic-based pizzeria. These animatronics will make their way towards your office, aiming to kill you. But don't fret, as you have a few ways to defend yourself. You have 2 doors in your office, which can be closed if the animatronics get too close. You also have a monitor to view the cameras around the establishment that let you see where the animatronics are. Though, using them drains your power, and if you run out of power, you won't be able to close the doors or check the cameras, and you will die. Just knowing how to close the doors and use the cameras doesn't entirely help you with the threat of the animatronics. You also need to know the strategies of how to use them. Bonnie and Chica each make their way to one side of your office. You can check if they're there by using the light, and if they are, close the door and they will go away. You can use the cameras to help with Bonnie and Chica, but optimally, in the later nights, you should use the cameras for Foxy and Freddy. Foxy sits in his pirate cove on Cam 5, and will slowly peek out of it. If left long enough without being looked at, he will run to the left side of your office to attack you. If he does leave to attack you, just close your left door, and wait for the thud sound, and he'll leave. Each time Foxy attacks and hits your door, he will take away some power, so you want to stall him as long as possible. Freddy works similarly to Foxy, where he is stalled with the cameras. Freddy will make his way to the right side of your office. However, every time he moves, he makes a laugh sound, but he will not move back to other locations in the building like Bonnie and Chica. The only time Freddy will move back is if you close your door, in which case he will go back to the room before the door, if it's closed. While not typically people's first thought when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's, skill is definitely a large part of the game, especially in the later games in the series. Most people can beat the first game with minimal playtime, but that doesn't mean it doesn't require some skill. The skill in Five Nights at Freddy's comes from knowing how and when to do things. An example of this is the buttons that control the doors and lights. Early in the game, clicking the buttons doesn't need to be super fast, as you aren't in a lot of danger. As you go to later nights, pressing the buttons needs to be faster, or you will let the animatronics into your office and you will die. So knowing that moving your mouse over the button while clicking it, over leaving your mouse stationary while clicking it, will let you click it faster and lead to less time loss. Another use of skill is dealing with Freddy and Foxy simultaneously. Freddy only gets stalled while you look at cameras he's on, while Foxy gets stalled as long as the cameras are open, so catching Freddy on a camera will stall both of them at once. Five Nights at Freddy's mechanics are programmed in a way that makes them very chance-based, with the way the animatronics move around the restaurant. During the game, you play through 6 nights at the pizzeria, plus a 7th optional custom night. Each night, the animatronics become more aggressive, by increasing their AI levels slowly from 0 to 20. Each animatronic has a chance to move to each camera in their set path, and their AI levels is what determines how likely each is to move, or in Foxy's case, how likely he is to peek out of his cove. It works by generating a random number between 1 and 20, and comparing it to the AI level of the animatronic. If the number generated is bigger than the AI level, the animatronic won't move. Each animatronic has a set time interval for when they have a chance to move. Freddy's interval is about 3 seconds, and Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy's is about 5 seconds. These 2 mechanics come together to make the movement opportunity system. To conclude, Five Nights at Freddy's is one of the most iconic horror games for a reason. The mechanics in the game's infancy were strong, along with the atmosphere. The use of chance adds to the mysteriousness of the game. It makes it feel like the animatronics are truly roaming around the location, as well as the actions you can take in the game, with the heavy mechanical doors, the hum of the lights, not to mention the buzz of the monitors when you look at the cameras. Doing these actions really help the atmosphere. Skill doesn't add much in terms of the game itself, has the benefit of the more challenge-orientated players wanting to play the game for the challenge and the skill the game needs. These key features were really thought out when the game was made, and are what hold the game together. If only one of these aspects was missing, Five Nights at Freddy's would not be the game that so many people have come to love.